Hello, I'm Chef John, and thanks for joining me today. Now, you know, when those chilly fall, winter days start to sneak up on us, we start thinking about those nice vegetables that we had in the garden and those fresh herbs, and we start thinking about building a recipe that would be appropriate for that. Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to prepare a beef and barley braise using those wonderful vegetables and those herbs from our garden. And you know, the other thing too is this is a great comfort food. It's a one-pot wonder. And for those of you that feel a little bit more comfortable, you can use your slow cooker on this recipe as well. Now, the ingredients that we're going to use today, a nice stewing beef or a chuck steak. We're going to use some onions, fresh garlic, beef broth that I stuck a little red wine into, a little tomato paste, and of course our barley, tomatoes, carrots, fresh rosemary and thyme, and mushrooms. And of course we can't forget about the milk and the sour cream that we're going to add to this recipe as well. So let's start with the beef here and get it into our pot. And you probably want to do this in a couple of batches because, again, you want to make sure that you get it nice and brown. If your pot's not hot enough and you've got too much beef going in there, you're going to end up with the meat actually steaming on you, and you don't want that to happen. So remember, when you're searing, you add a little bit of butter and a little bit of oil, and of course this is going to add the good flavor that you want as well. And there we are. Look at that nice golden brown color. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually remove that and put it aside. And look at that nice brown color you've got there on the bottom of the pot. That's going to be something that you're going to like to have when we introduce our onions and our garlic. Onions, a little bit of minced garlic. And you know, when you start working with the onions here, the moisture is going to come out of those onions and is actually going to remove and bring up those particles of the brown drippings that you have from searing your beef. And we want to get these onions to the point where they're starting to get a little bit soft. You also have to remember that this is a braised item, so you don't really have to take your onions too far. But again, what we're doing here when we're searing and sauteing these onions is we're actually bringing out some of the good flavor in the onions and the garlic, because you're getting a little bit of caramelization going on here. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that starts to give you that really nice flavor that you want to bring out. All right, look at that, nice and brown. Onion's getting nice and soft. And so let's introduce our flour now. And the flour, we want to work into those onions really well. And of course, that's the flour is going to offer a little bit of a thickening agent to the braise as well. And now for our beef broth. Snuck in a little bit of red wine in there. You notice that it's in the recipe and it's identified as optional, but it does give it gives this recipe a very nice flavor. So we're going to bring that up to a simmer. Make sure that that flour begins to cook. This is starting to thicken up nicely, and we're picking up the nice particles from the bottom of the saucepan here. Now let's introduce a little bit of tomato paste. This is going to give a little bit of color as well as additional flavor. Work that in. And then our barley. Carrots. And our tomatoes. And of course, what would our recipe be without adding some milk to it? And if the milk is added to this recipe for some great flavor. And also, 2 out of 3 adults do not consume 2 servings of milk products per day. So by introducing the milk into this recipe provides that opportunity. All right, now what we're going to do is add our beef back into this lovely mixture that we've created here. Look at our fresh rosemary, our fresh thyme. That's going to give just a wonderful flavor. Use fresh herbs as much as you can. They're so readily available in your grocery store now. And the other thing that it does too, it's amazing how much salt we can take out of our recipes when we're in fact using fresh herbs. So I'm just going to add a little bit of ground pepper here, and a pinch of salt, and we'll mix that up. Now this is a really good spot now in the preparation of this recipe for those of you that enjoy your slow cooker, that you can actually put this into your slow cooker and set it for about 8 to 10 hours, and away you go. Now with this, we're going to put a lid on this, and we're going to give it about an hour and a half, and at that point in time, the vegetables and the beef should be becoming tender, and of course the flavor is going to be developed. And we're going to turn our heat down to about medium-low, and we've got a nice gentle rolling simmer underneath that lid. And about an hour and a half, we'll come back and add our mushrooms and give that about another 20 minutes, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, I've added my mushrooms, and we're just going to remove our fresh herbs here and give this a little stir. And at the same time, when I added my mushrooms, I took a sneak taste and checked for flavor, and everything was good to me. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to finish this with some sour cream, and just fold that in. Now, adding the sour cream does a couple of different things. You'll notice it'll lighten up the sauce a little bit, but it actually smooths out the flavor of the barley braise, and gives it a really nice finishing taste to it. So there we are. We've added our mushrooms and the sour cream, and now we're ready to serve. And there we are, a beautiful beef and barley braise. And of course, remember, cooking with milk is just that easy, and a one-pot wonder of deliciousness, and a great way to beef up your milk intake. I'm Chef John. Until next time, have a great day.